Hey everybody, my name is Julie Golub. I'm with Team Smith & Wesson here in Maryville, Tennessee for the grand opening of the amazing Smith & Wesson facility here in the South. Lots of years in the making. It's been an incredible event so far. We've had world records broken. We have tons of people milling around, seeing products, having fun. And you know what? It's going to be an even better day because we've got Gun Talk here, and here's Ryan.
Man, I tell you what, it is nice to work with professionals. Right, Mark?
You're not talking about me. I know that.
Golly. Awesome. Julie is a pro. All right, welcome in, everybody. If you're watching this, tuning in on Facebook, on YouTube, Mark Smith, CEO, President of Smith & Wesson.
Pleasure to be here. Thanks for having me.
This is quite a day.
Yeah, no kidding, right?
Jeez. So Smith & Wesson started in 1852.
We did.
And was it in Springfield, Massachusetts the whole time?
Yep, Springfield, Massachusetts since I've
been there.
So.
I've been there at least 10 times.
The building that you've been to, that building was opened up in the 40s, but they opened, the original facility was downtown Springfield, so part of that building's still there.
That's right, I remember that.
Yep.
That's right. So, you guys, I guess start off with maybe just fill people in. They're watching this, they're fans of Gun Talk, they're fans of Smith & Wesson. What's the story? Like, okay, why is this a big deal, and how did it come about?
Yeah, it's a big deal because you just said it. Smith & Wesson, 170-year-old company, and was founded in Springfield and been in Springfield ever since, and stood the test of time there, and now moving headquarters and parts of manufacturing out here to Tennessee. At the end of the day, comes down to we needed to be sure that for the next 170 years that we're operating in a state and in a community that respects what we do for a living and respects the Second Amendment of the U.S. Constitution, and just unfortunately kind of the shifting winds in the state of Massachusetts. It used to be, as we all know, Gun Valley there with Colt and us, and
right.
Winchester and so many historic firearms companies, in that Connecticut Valley there, and over the years have just kind of migrated away, and unfortunately, presented with some pretty onerous legislation that was proposed in the Massachusetts legislature that would have kind of had a pretty significant damaging impact to our business, and we kind of just looked at it and said, look, we got to make sure that we're setting ourselves up for the next 170 years, and we got to go somewhere where they respect what we do and they respect the Second Amendment. And I'll tell you, this community, this festival, 5,000 people showing up to watch us open a building. I'll tell you, when Chris said that, Chris Bovat, this was her brainchild, and she told me she was going to do this. I said, Chris, really, how many people are you really going to come and watch us open a building? And she said, well, I think we'll get 3,000. I said, we're not going to get 3,000 people. We didn't. We got 5.
Yeah.
And she had to cut it off.
You had to cut it off. We could have gotten more.
Yeah.
Legislation in certain states. You guys were headquartered in Massachusetts, which it's a beautiful state and a lot of history with gun making. But like you kind of alluded to, it's not only some of the laws that are coming down on the citizens, but it's actually they're starting to come up with stuff that are affecting manufacturing, right?
Yeah. The law that kind of the straw that broke the camel's back was legislation proposed that any firearm that's not legal for sale in the state of Massachusetts couldn't be manufactured in the state of Massachusetts.
Wow.
So Massachusetts, as everybody knows, has got some pretty restrictive gun laws. There's 10-round magazine capacity requirements. There's 10-pound trigger requirements. There's a roster. You have to.
It's a gun you don't want to go off. A 10-pound trigger.
Your firearms have to be on the roster, and so we kind of looked at that and said, look, if this thing goes into law, it's going to that's 60% of our business right there.
Mm-hmm.
So we can't have that hanging over our head.
Yeah.
So I think it was time to just say, look, I think the shifting sands have shifted far enough that it's time to make a move here. So.
And we've seen that from other companies, right? Beretta has moved some of their operation, actually, I think, to Tennessee, right?
Yep.
You have some other companies moving or expanding into different states, but away from states that are restrictive and not friendly to gun rights. Talk about this area and talk about the facility you guys have built here.
The facility is amazing. I walked around. I was here for a board meeting about 3 weeks ago, and just in the month and a half or 2 months since I'd been here the last time, it's just the amount of change and it really had just come together since the last time I was here. And I walked through, and I got a little emotional just going, holy cow, look at this place.
This is really happening.
Yeah, it's really happening. This is something.
How big is the building?
So about 650,000 square feet.
Wow.
So yeah.
gosh, that's awesome.
And actually about the same size as our facility in Massachusetts, which
Yeah.
will still operate, and we'll still do all our machining and forging and a lot of our metalworking there, and all our engineers. We have a tremendous team of engineers and machinists, et cetera, so that'll all stay there. Our forging house, our metalwork, our finishing, all that will stay in Massachusetts.
There's
and revolvers as well.
And revolvers. I mean, there's some huge tribal knowledge in that building in Springfield.
Tremendous tribal knowledge, yeah.
So for people watching this, people who are gun enthusiasts and fans of Smith & Wesson, what does that mean for them as far as, okay, you're expanding into a new factory, but, I mean, what does that mean as far as new products or manufacturing, I mean, they're saying, okay, what does it mean for me?
Yeah, there's trade-offs there. I mean, so yeah, we definitely have a lot of tribal knowledge there, and I talked about it this morning during the ribbon cutting ceremony about just how humbling it is for me to watch the selfless dedication of all of our employees there in Massachusetts, and a lot of whom just long hours, and frankly, while they agreed with the decision, they would, for whatever one reason or another, couldn't move with us to Tennessee, and we did offer everybody who wanted to move. We said, come. But obviously, we only had about 10% of the folks take us up on that. But so a lot of those folks working themselves out of a job, and it's just amazing and humbling for me, and it's awe-inspiring to watch them, just continue to work hard for the good of Smith & Wesson. It's very selfless. It's
amazing.
Impressive. But it's that the loss of that tribal knowledge is a big deal for us. But there's the flip side to that is we did have 10% of those folks come with us, and that provides a seed, kind of that you need here. You got somebody to go to ask a question if you run into a problem in the manufacturing process. And the other big piece of it is that building in Springfield is amazing, and it's a piece of history, and will continue to run and do great things for us. But it is a building that was built in 1940, and our ability to start over fresh with literally a blank slate.
Take advantage of new manufacturing and probably just efficiencies, I imagine.
Anything you ever wanted to do, guys, engineers, I mean, they were licking their chops.
I bet.
You got a 625,000 square foot facility out there.
Yeah.
Go to town. Anything you ever wanted to do. He said, man, if we could only do it.
How much? I've heard this from other companies who move to areas that are. There's a gun culture here in Tennessee, and certainly in this part of Tennessee. Mm-hmm. How much does that affect you guys? How much is it a benefit? I'm really where I'm going is are you guys trying to ramp up and hire people? I mean, is that a deal?
It's a huge benefit to us. You can see that the excitement and the welcome that we've gotten from the community here. People are so excited for Smith & Wesson to be here, and it's awesome to see. It's humbling to see, and so we have a lot of interest in people coming to work for us, and that's awesome. It's a big deal, and allows us to, really not have any fear that we're not going to be able to get the employees we need. We are ramping up. We have several hundred employees here already.
Awesome.
And we'll be hiring about another 500
in
the next
there you go.
6 to 12 months. So.
And it's got to be, obviously you can train somebody up to do these things, but it's got to be a little bit of a benefit when somebody has that, I like pistols and rifles and I shoot them and I'm a hunter, I'm a recreational shooter, just from that interest level to go, okay, now I get to build guns or design guns or whatever that may be.
Yeah, I talked about it earlier, but the biggest risk that we faced when we were moving the company was not, are we going to be able to install machines? Are we not going to be able to pour the right concrete? It wasn't it was culture, right? Smith & Wesson, we are who we are, and we've stood the test of time for 170 years because of our people,
right?
Not because of anything else, because our people are dedicated. They love, for so many of us, and me included, this is more than a job. It's a passion. It's we have a saying, we bleed blue, right? If you cut us, we bleed Smith & Wesson blue, and we'll run through walls to do what's right for the company in the long term. And that culture, I have no doubt. You look around in this festival. I have no doubt that culture is going to be just fine. It's going to thrive and flourish here.
Yeah, Kohler Faucets doesn't have a festival
where
5,000 people are paying to get in, right? It's like, yeah, I like the faucet and it's a nice toilet, but no, I don't care about this.
Not a whole lot of passion.
Smith & Wesson, we have people who are Smith & Wesson families, and we have the prized Smith & Wesson that my dad had and my grandfather had before him, right? So it's a big deal. This is just amazing that you guys are putting this together.
Yeah.
So people are probably going, okay, what's next for Smith & Wesson, and where does this go? I mean, I'm just kind of imagining the possibilities. By the way, guys, the people here can shoot, because you have a range on site, which I just took a quick tour of earlier, 100 yards indoor.
Yes. Yeah.
Awesome.
The shooting range is open to the public now. That is actually our test range for, every firearm Smith & Wesson makes is test fired for function and accuracy. And that is actually going to be that's the production range, which is today.
Today it's
open to the public for the first 500 people who came in. So we couldn't leave it open all day, but it's open to the public for folks to come and shoot and try our products out.
That's fantastic. So guys, I'm just want to just see what kind of comments are we having here. Luke Capria, freedom, not part of what MA stands for. We've got some good comments coming in. Might as well be New York small. I know you're up in New York, Luke. Just time for you're gonna like this one from Frank. Time for a revolver revolution. I'd like to see a Smith & Wesson 69 sometime in my lifetime. So you never shortage of ideas from customers, right?
Love it though.
Yeah.
I mean that's part of the passion of the our industry and our. Is that everybody's passionate about it and has an idea and wants to be a part of that process. And, I think that's why we got 5,000 people here. They want to just come and feel like they're a part of the company, even if just for a day,
Absolutely. So. All right. So we have a little fun thing we're doing here. So Mark, this is going to be a giveaway for one of our viewers. This is the 12 days of Buc-ee's socks, because when you do a road trip in the South, you got to stop at a Buc-ee's. And I think the biggest Buc-ee's is nearby, right?
Yes. Actually, so I've been
So I need you to sign it.
I've been to that Buc-ee's.
Have you been? Is it amazing?
It's amazing. When I heard, so my in-laws actually live up the street. And when I heard that they had, I don't know how many, I think it's like 200 gas pumps, and I'm like, how? I immediately went into business mode. I'm like, that's not economical. You can't make money at 200 gas pumps or whatever it was. And I walked in there, and I'm like, holy smokes, this thing's a little money machine. The Buc-ee's is amazing.
It's amazing.
So,
we stopped at this, and so somebody watching, if you comment, you're entered to win, and this is going to be signed by everybody who comes on today, and maybe some extras. I think they got Julie Golub to sign it earlier, and we'll grab some other celebs, some gun celebs. But Mark, thanks for being on with us.
Yeah, no, appreciate it. Thanks for
this. This is awesome.
Appreciate
this is so fantastic. All right, guys, we will be back with much, much more from the Smith & Wesson grand opening here in Maryville, Tennessee. We'll see you in a little bit.
Thanks for watching Gun Talk Live. For more great gun content, subscribe to our YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter pages. You can always watch the Gun Talk channels on Roku, Apple TV, and Amazon. And of course, you can always find us at guntalk.com. Thanks for watching.